This is our Mexican traditional breakfast. So we've seen some other breakfasts, but this is more like if you went into someone's home, what you would be having for breakfast. So I'm going to be making it two different ways, and I hope you have gathered your ingredients to cook along with us. I have potatoes, onion, and I'm going to make some more with radishes so that I can eat. And we have our chorizo. So if you don't have chorizo on hand, you can swap it with some breakfast sausage, but it's really not going to make it have that authentic Mexican taste if that's what you're looking for. And then we have some oil. I'm going to continue cutting these up. So what I'm going to do is kind of I didn't grab another knife, pre-cook the potatoes so that they will fry up better in the pan. And I just wanted to show you a couple different holds when you're cutting to keep your fingers out of the way so you don't chop them. This is a bridge hold, and you just hold it like that so your hand is a bridge over whatever it is that you are cutting. And then this is a claw. You want to keep your fingers back, kind of have your knuckles on whatever you're doing, and you can see you're not going to necessarily cut your fingers. All right, and so we have a little bad spot there, so we're just going to trim that off. And you can either peel your potatoes or leave the skin on. It's really kind of the preference of those who you're eating with. Most of my kids like the skin off, so for them to eat breakfast today, I'm peeling them. All right. So you want your pieces kind of around the same size so that they cook together nicely, so that they're all done at the same time. Now, how many of you like peeling potatoes? It can be pretty easy. See how long you can get one strip of peel. Now, if you're going to leave the peel on, you want to clean them well. Wash and scrub to get all the dirt off. Now, if you're really good, you could use a knife and peel. This is just a regular potato peeler or a vegetable peeler. Go back over and get some of those other little spots that are still there. If you didn't know, the end of your peeler is to get like some of these imperfections out, or like where the eyes of the potatoes are, or maybe the potato goes in a little bit because it's not always rounded all the way around. Okay, so again, we're going to hold it in the bridge hold. Let's go this way. And now, since it's a rounded item, what's recommended is to cut it in half, and so then you can put it down so it's easier to cut, so it's not rolling around on you. And if you have any tricks, you can tell us in the comments. Okay, that way. And as you can see, you could easily make French fries cutting this way too. Or you go back and dice it the opposite direction. Now we're going to put these in the microwave to cook them a little bit. And I have this little micro cooker, and it has the holes so that it will steam whatever it's cooking. And it's just a lot quicker than using a steamer on your stove top. And you're also not losing as many as many nutrients, because it is cooking for a shorter amount of time. Put these in, and I'm going to try to listen to get them out at the halfway point. Have a little potato button on there, so that makes it handy. I'll move this to the side. All right, so now we're going to move on to our chorizo, and this is what it looks like. It comes in casings like it's sausage, but you're actually going to break it up when you cook it. So hands on. So this is cast iron, which you can cook at a high heat, which is great for this. Other pans that you can use at a high heat are stainless steel. You do not want to use non-stick pans at a high heat because that ruins your non-stick, and it will stick. So let's turn on, my helper over there, let's turn on both pans. I want to have them both going, and he's doing them about halfway to number 5. So cast iron is great. It will last forever. You want to make sure it's greased ahead of time, keep it that way. So it's also called seasoning the pan. And we're going to take, like I said, we're going to take these out of their casings. And we can easily just slip a knife. This is why I wanted a smaller knife. It's not up there. Is there an old, one of our old Perry knives in there? That might work. So just slip it through here to cut the casing, and then you can put it on out. And we're also going to be breaking it up. So if you have something that's really good to break up your meats, you're going to want to have that handy. I have mine handy, which is the mix and chop here, which is great at chopping up the meat when it's in the pan. Alright, so like I said, the chorizo is going to have a lot different flavor than if you're using breakfast sausage. But if you have breakfast sausage, you can go ahead, if it's fresh, you want to cut it out its casing and chop it up. If it's just a frozen type, you want to cut it so that it's in smaller pieces. So kind of like if you're doing just a skillet scramble type of thing, because that's basically what this is. All right. Keep going. And you can already smell it cooking. Let's see if it says what else is in chorizo. So the spices that are in chorizo, it just says spices, of course. Salt, paprika, garlic powder, other natural flavors. So it doesn't really tell you too much extra that's in it. As you can see, it's already cooking up. Already smells really good. Let me get our potatoes out of there. And I added that little bit of water so that they would steam. So we're just going to pour that out. We don't want it in our food here. And then once the meat cooks up a little bit more, we will add those in, and our onion also. The other one. This has been cooking for a little while here. Now I have the oil out because as you cook, once you add your potatoes, you may need to add some more oil. But if you didn't pre-cook it, you're going to be cooking it quite a while to get those potatoes cooked. And then a lot of times they end up sticking to the pan. And it doesn't come out quite how you want it to. Alright. So like I said, I did radishes. I forgot to get them out at the halfway point, so they're completely soft. Okay, next we're going to do the onion. Cut it up. And you want it diced, so we're going to use this little food chopper here to get it down to the size that we want. Now you could add other things to this. If you wanted to add fresh garlic or red peppers, green peppers, any of those things. I'm trying to keep it traditional, which is the chorizo, potatoes, and onions, and then salt and pepper. Now, I did have those optional things since it is breakfast, because in a Mexican home, this could be breakfast, this could be dinner, it could be served almost at any meal with the potatoes and the chorizo. And then for breakfast, you might add eggs to it. You might put it into a tortilla. You may not. You could just eat it plain. It's very versatile. So our onion here, we're going to cut the end off so that you can peel it. Now the other end, if you've ever heard me talk about onions before, this is where the root is, the little hairs here. That is the end that has, give me another paring knife. I don't want to use what I used on the meat on our vegetable. So, here, can't find it. It should be on this side. There we go. Alright, so you want to cut this out. That's where all the sulfur is that comes up from the ground. And that is what makes you cry when you cut an onion. So we're just going to, you want to angle your knife, cut around it. Now this is a paring knife, so you could, hold whatever it is you're cutting in your hand and do it. But that is where that's the sulfur bulb. That's where all the sulfur is. So that's why when you cry from it and your eyes water, that's why it hurts. It's the sulfur gas that's getting in your eyes. All right. Oh, you know what? You can tell me something that you have learned while we've been going around Mexico here. Something new that you learned about the food, anything about the culture. Can you turn this one down? All right. So this is cooking up rather quickly. Let me turn those down. I want to get that onion in there. All right. So we have our beef chopper here. Let's cut this onion. Put it under. And the more you pump it, the finer it's going to cut. So that just did all of our work for us very quickly. And we can add that. All right. So I'll add this in the first pan. This little scooper makes it so easy. Now you can see the color there, that's all from the chorizo. The seasonings and everything that it has in it. Colors that all up. Before I add my radishes in, I'm going to put a little more oil in there. Or a little oil in. I haven't ended yet. You want to have your oil handy, especially when you're doing the potatoes. That you can see how quick that was? I don't think you could tell it yourself that quick. I use to get it that fine, that fast. Alright, put these in our other one. Now your skillet's going to stay hot. So even though I turned it down, it's still really, really hot. ever substituted radishes for potatoes before? Or is the texture, it's a pretty good match? Radishes are a little bit spicier. Well, not spicier than the potato is. Be ready to test that flavor. And we need our salt and pepper. Let's see, the cameraman, he's very handy to have around. Now, like I said, you could add eggs in this and do it more like an egg scramble, or not. Then we turn this one back up to a higher heat if you want to get that some color on some of those potatoes. And if you have a lid, these actually cast irons do not have a lid that fits them. But if you had a lid, that's going to cook it up quicker. You just want to keep your eye on it. And give it a stir. This is our traditional Mexican breakfast if you went to a Mexican home. All right, so remember, you can tell us what you learned, anything about food this week or about Mexico. You can share that in the comments. I'd love to hear what you learned. And thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day.